Well, hello there. Welcome to the fish room. Thanks so much for stopping back in here to the biotopes. As you saw in the intro, the door to the fish room is open. Just try to get some air in here. It is pretty steady, mid-80s here in northern Ohio right now, and thusly just about the same here in the fish room. So I've got a fan going. I've got a dehumidifier in here, and whenever I can, and I'm in here, I'll keep that fish room door open. I'm going to look into getting some kind of screen so I can get some pretty steady airflow here. Today's video, I'm going to walk you guys through my breeding rack. It's breeding mainly quarantine, grow outs. It's 620 highs. I'll link here in the video how I built the rack, the water change system, the drainage, overflow, all that kind of stuff. But it's really what kind of a big piece of this, really the first part I installed once the room was built itself. You guys get you up to speed on what's going on with those 6 tanks. Thanks again for showing up, and let's get started. We're going to start up top here in the top right. This is Macropodus apercularis, or the blue paradise fish, or paradise gourami, or blue paradise gourami. This is the wild form of the paradise gourami. There's also a flame version that's kind of red. There's a black version that's a separate species. I don't know that there's an albino or not. I've not seen any. This was the first major spawn I had from the adults. They're currently in the Chinese biotope. And there's probably 100 in here. There's various sizes, as you can see. Tank's got a ton of some vallets going here, just some gravel. There's a hang-on back for filtration. These are just over 3 months old at the time of this video. And some of them are a good inch long, and some of them are, ½ inch or smaller. Feed them baby brine shrimp, decap brine, some pellets. I have tried like some vinegar eels, but they're doing pretty well. This tank here used to have my breeding pair of angels in there. They laid eggs on that slate, but they didn't last long. So that's why the tank's a little bit milky or blue, because I had some medicine in there with them just to keep the fungus out. So that is an empty tank right now. A ton of roots from this pothos above, and this is a Higer light that's just hung from the ceiling here in the fish room. The thing on the left has a internal filter as well as an air stone there. And you can see the fill side of the fill system, part of the water change system. Behind here, I want you to kind of see how it's set up. You can see a little bit. There's that drainage hose that runs down, all the way down from each tank. Each tank's separate, and it runs into a PVC kind of opening and onto a PVC pipe that heads out. You can see kind of where they enter there. And sorry about the cable management. That's should be cleaned up, but it has not been. It's worked fine to this point. There you can see I've got this air pump here hung, and you can see the kind of fill lines there. Here you can see again more of that drainage hose down into the PVC. It just attached to a bulkhead at the top, and just a barbed elbow on the inside of the tank, and then just overflows as water is added to the tank down to this PVC pipe, and then out there to the right, which leaves the fish room. And it's worked out really, really well, and made water changes pretty easy for me. Right below here, the next 2 tanks, this is my breeding pair of angels on the right, trying to get their spawn. I've gotten them to wigglers, but have not gotten them past that, so I'm still working on that situation. I'm going to move them to another tank here later in the video, just as a change of scenery. But this just has a small hang on the back and a heater, and you can see just some floating plants there. some pothos in this tank. This is my colony of mud endlers. Start off with, one female that my daughter got for a 5-gallon tank, and it's turned into this. And there's some cool colors in here. Some of them, there's some with like some color on their dorsal, which I'm going to try to hang on to. Here's the one surviving baby bristlenose pleco in this tank from the pair of bristlenose that I have in this tank with them. Just a bunch of Java fern, some val, some wood, some rocks, some sand, and so forth. This tank here below, I am going to end up putting my 2 breeding pair of angels in this tank. And again, there's just a hang on the back and a heater, some gravel, some val. That's just a sponge from Sponge Filter I'm keeping cycled. And again, that has a hang on the back there. Just a cheap Amazon light that I've kind of mounted inside this rack. This here, I just had my white clouds in quarantine, so they came out a little bit ago. Was hoping to get some babies, have not seen anything, but there's some snails in here, and I'm sure that is affecting any eggs that I get out of here. Again, you can see the overflow sponges kind of towards the middle. I'll show you here. These are just polycarbonate lids. But over this filter sponge on the left is just you can see it's a bulkhead there with an elbow. I drilled all these tanks and I just painted the back there. But if you take this pre-filter sponge off, you can see it's just a plain barbed elbow that the water overflows into, and that sponge keeps baby fish or plants or any kind of big debris from getting in the drain system and then out to the yard. So just want to stay responsible on that. And this also, as you can see, has a small hang on the back for filtration. Here's the fill line, just some irrigation line, and that's hooked up to the water in the house. So this is the whole rack here. You saw I just ran through the video of kind of what's all in here and how everything is put together. What I want to do today is I've got these angelfish here that I need to get moved back down in this tank. I had some convict grow outs that are now in with this tank down here. So I had to take out, just to get those convicts out, I had to take out all the rocks, the wood, everything out of there. So I want to get that tank set up again to get these guys breeding. I'm trying to get those guys to get a spawn all the way through and grow up some fry. It's not worked out thus far, so I'm kind of switching them around, maybe change the scenery. Might do them so good. So I'm going to start on this tank, and I'll just show you how I do that. All right, so here this tank is, again, it's a 20 high. I've just got some gravel and some val. There's a sponge filter in there now, just so it can stay cycled, and I've got a heater in there just to keep it warm enough when we get in the winter time, just in case I need to increase the temperature or that type of thing. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up to breed these angelfish. I've got this flat rock that I'm going to get situated in there. That's a real good spawning piece for them. So to set that up, I'm going to kind of use these 2 rocks to set up a base. This is how I had it kind of set up in the past. So I'm just going to there. And I'm just going to kind of wedge this slate here And it's very malmy and lots of good nutrients in there for both the Val and potential babies. So sorry it's getting a little cloudy now because I just did that. I'm going to put some wood in here. Just some small wood pieces. These will sink here. They were in there. I just had them out because I was moving things around. So I'm just going to place these in here for now and let those get waterlogged, and they'll sink here soon. I'll show you. I'm going to fill this tank up a little bit. I'll show you how I do that. And all it is these knobs right here. So I've got water coming into the fish room. Just turn that on, and then you guys can see that. So water's going in this tank here and this bottom tank. So these two tanks are on that same control. So the water goes in. I've just got a little hang on the back there, marine land hang on the back, and then the overflow is in the back there in the corner. It's just, as you saw before, it is just a barbed elbow in a bulkhead, and I just put a little pre-filter sponge here just so no babies or any extra debris gets in there. And then that overflows on the back end. I don't know if you guys can see, sorry. It goes into that PVC pipe there, and then runs the length of the fish room, and then goes out the fish room in the corner, and then out into the yard. Tank fill up here, and then I'm going to get that breeding pair of angels in here, and hopefully be in a good position where they'll spawn. They'll pretty regularly lay eggs, but I just have not been able to get them. Really get them. I've gotten to wigglers once, but have not gotten them much past that here yet. So I'm hoping this new tank and this new setup will do the trick. This water here is it's run through a carbon block, so it takes out all the chlorine. I have the ability to heat it a little bit. I've got a temperature regulator on it, like a shower valve, but I haven't figured out it's super touchy with the hot. I mean, just a little bit, and it just runs too hot. So I just turn off the hot water, and this is cold coming in here. And in the summer, it's great because it'll be nice and fresh, and it'll lower, I don't know, 20 gallon by a degree or two, which is not a big deal. The fish actually enjoy it in the summertime because these tanks will run about 80 degrees right now. So it's that easy. It's real easy, kind of semi-automatic to run a water change on these tanks. Like I said, one valve here in the bottom adds water to both these tanks and overflows and then out into the drain and out of the fish room. I did have to put a pressure regulator here. I think it's a 25 psi regulator there just to lower the water pressure as it comes into these tanks. Otherwise, it would just blow off this irrigation tubing. And usually about 6 minutes is about a 10% water change. It's obviously a dilution. I'm not getting full all of that water, but like you see, I've got my output here, and then in the opposite corner is the overflow. So it's mitigating how much fresh water is immediately exiting the system. Good chance that a lot of that good new water is staying and is overflowing all the old, or some of the old water there, most of the old water. So that looks about good for this tank. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off, and then we'll get the pair of angels in here and get them set up. So, boom, just that easy. and let's get you guys set up and you can watch me catch these angels. These are usually pretty easy to catch, as most angels are. I'm going to grab a smaller net here just because I think it should be okay. Trying to get there. Oopsie. All right, buddy. Okay. All right, in there. Okay, and then I'm going to get Mama. Mama is just a black. Daddy is a German blue blusher, kind of a long fin. She's a little more, try not to eat up that Madagascar lace plant. Wow, she is definitely quicker. I should get the bigger net here, but oh my gosh, jumped right out. You guys see that? Okay, let's try to, hold on, lady. Let's get this guy out of here. Ton of moss. It's okay. And get her in there. Sorry about that. A little too much stress, honestly. A ton of Java moss in this net. Okay, there we go. That's all of it out. Most of it. Just hang this net there to dry. Route this lace plant leaf. These are just polycarbonate lids I just cut to fit with a little, I don't know what you call it, like something you'd hang a picture on, a little tab. Okay, so those are in there. I'll let them settle down. They were just in this tank a couple days ago, so it's not totally foreign to them, but I wanted to get those convicts out. So once they do spawn, they'll have a chance of sticking around. So let's get this all wiped down. There, I'll put this guy down too. All right, so that is it. I'll let them settle in, and hopefully here the next few weeks we'll get some fry, and then be able to grow these guys out. I've always wanted to breed these two. I think it'd be, they put up some cool babies, and check that off my list with this pair. So that's about it for me. Thanks so much for coming back here into the Biotopes. I really appreciate everybody's support. If you'd like to find out more what's going on here in the fish room, I've got some good projects going on here this summer. Please subscribe, give us a like, share this out. And if you've had any kind of breeding successes lately, let me know what they are, and I'd love to learn from us together as a community. And again, I really appreciate the support. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time here in the Biotopes.